Thank you so much for inviting us into your home for Metro Kids Online this morning. Today, we are going to start with a game. This game is called Sink or Float. And this is what will happen. I will hold up an object. If you think it will sink, I want you to stand up. If you think it's going to float, stay seated. You can keep up with the amount of points that you have at home. And if you would like to play with your entire family, well then a good idea would be you can all play together, keep score, and whoever scores the most points gets to choose the person to do the dishes for the week. All right, here we go. We're going to start off with a pencil. If you think this pencil is going to sink, stand up. If you think it's going to float, stay seated. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. And the pencil floats. Very good. If you are seated, you get a point. Now right here, I have a Jif peanut butter to go. Who likes peanut butter? Let's see if you think it's gonna sink. Stand up if you think it's gonna float. Sit down, and here we go. And it floats. If you're standing, you get another point. Now right here, I have a nail. It's a little bit of a rusty nail, but if you think it will sink, stand up. If you think it's gonna float, stay seated. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it sinks. It went straight to the bottom. So if you were sitting, you get a point. All right, now I have a jelly bean, a green Starburst, yummy jelly bean. You decide if it's gonna sink or float, and here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh, the jelly bean went straight to the bottom. Now I have a very pretty Minnie Mouse pass holder magnet. It is a magnet that goes on the refrigerator. You decide if it's gonna sink or float. Make your decision whether to stand or sit, and here we go. 3, 2, 1. And it's right at the bottom. It decided to sink. Now I have this Rubik's Cube right here. Many of you like to play with these. Some of you can do them and actually figure them out. I cannot, but here we go. If you think it is going to sink or float, make your decision right now. And here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Oh, the Rubik's Cube floats right on top of the water. Now I have scissors. Fiskars for kids are my favorite. Here we go. Decide if it's gonna sink or float. 3, 2, 1. All the scissors sink. Finally, I have a candle. Smells very good. Cinnamon caramel swirl from Bath and Body Works. Let's see if you think it will sink or float. Make your decision right now. And 3, 2, and 1. The candle floats on top of the water. All right. Now I have 2 oranges, and I'm gonna do 2 separate things with these oranges, but this one right here has the pill on. So decide right now if you think it's gonna sink or float in 3, 2, 1. It floats. Very good. All right, so let's see what's gonna happen now that I'm taking the pill off. The thing that protects the orange, the pill. Let's see what's gonna happen to it in 3, 2, 1. It sinks straight to the bottom. You see, guys, today we are going to discuss how God protects us. He surrounds us with protection. And as long as He protects us, just like this orange is protected by the pill, we're gonna stay afloat and nothing will harm us. But you see, if we take God's protection off and we do not study His word and we don't follow His commandments, we may begin to sink in life. So join us this morning as we learn all about God's protection. Today's scripture talks all about how God will protect us from trouble. It says, repeat after me, You're my hiding place. You will protect me from trouble and surround me with songs of deliverance. Psalm 32:7. Scott! Scott?
Yeah, it is okay, Miss Kellie. I am here to protect you.
Scott, have you been taking karate?
I may have taken a class or two online.
All right, you've been doing online karate, Scott?
Yeah, look at this, Miss Kellie.
All right.
Yeah, choo 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 choo.
I'm not very impressed, Scott.
Oh,
Who has been your karate teacher?
his name was Sensei Wikipedia.
All right, Sensei Wikipedia. Well, that sounds very interesting, Scott.
It is, I've learned a lot. But look, it is okay. I am not here to protect you from all the bad guys and evil spirits with my karate. Kya!
Well, Scott, I think you've got this a little backwards. We are going to talk today about how God will protect us from trouble.
Oh, does he know karate as well?
Well, I'm not sure if he knows karate, but he can protect you from anything and everything that comes against you. The things that karate can't even protect you from.
Whoa!
Yes.
That is really cool. He must be like really powerful.
He is very powerful. He's all powerful. And he's all knowing.
Whoa!
Yes. So we're going to find out today how he can protect us from trouble. Have you ever been in trouble, Scott?
Oh, sometimes, but not really. It's kind of like, I ate too much pizza, and my parents will be like, you're in trouble because you ate too much pizza, and I'm like, oh no.
Yes, that is not the kind of trouble that we're talking about today. We're going to talk about how God protects us from the things of this world that happen to us. You see, when you eat too much pizza, Scott, you do that to yourself.
Oh.
When you do something wrong and you know it, usually you get in trouble, right?
Yes, I do get in trouble.
Yes, we're not talking about that kind of trouble. We're talking about the troubles of this world, the things that happen to us that we can't control. You can control if you disobey, right?
I can. You're right, Miss Kellie.
Yeah, and God's usually not going to protect you from the trouble of your parents because they're trying to teach you a lesson. They're trying to teach you how you should act. But listen up this morning how we know so that we can learn how God protects us from the trouble that may come in this world, the things that we can't control. All right, Scott, we'll see you later.
Okie dokie, I will keep on practicing.
Keep on practicing karate, Scott. You have a long way to go.
My heart was captured, sin held me captive. Now 'cause of you, God, I'm set free. I feel like dancing, I can't help moving. I got this crazy joy creeping up in me. Whoa, let's wake the city up. Whoa, when the crowds go home and the hype dies down, we will sing 'cause we're unashamed. Just like Paul and Silas, when I stay quiet, whenever we praise, we sing with voices of freedom. We sing with voices of freedom. We sing with voices of freedom. You give me purpose, you keep your promise. I hear your spirit call to me to be the difference, to live for Jesus, to shine a light now for all to see. Whoa, let's wake the city up. Whoa, when the crowds go home and the hype dies down, we will sing 'cause we're unashamed. Just like Paul and Silas, when I stay quiet, whenever we praise, we sing with voices. freedom. When the crowds go home and the hype dies down, we will sing 'cause we're unashamed. Just like Paul and Silas, we're not staying quiet whenever we praise. We sing with voices of freedom. When the crowds go home and the hype dies down, we will sing 'cause we're unashamed. Just like Paul and Silas, we're not staying quiet whenever we praise. We sing with voices of freedom. We sing with voices of freedom. We sing with voices of freedom. We sing with voices of freedom.
Stories of the Bible. Daniel in the Lion's Den. This is Daniel,
Oh, hey!
who was a Jewish man who was taken to Babylon when he was very young.
Yeah.
Daniel loved God and followed God's rules. He talked to God 3 times a day and asked God for help often. Daniel served in the Babylonian king's court for many years
Yeah, I know him.
and under many kings.
Hey, Daniel.
Daniel always proved himself to be more capable than all the other court officials.
Nice you, huh? Thanks. Well, anytime.
Daniel was serving under King Darius, and because of his great abilities, the king made plans to place him in charge of the entire empire.
Wow, okay.
The other court officials searched for some fault in Daniel, but they couldn't find anything wrong with him. He was faithful, responsible, and completely trustworthy.
Wait.
The court officials realized the only way to get at Daniel would be to challenge his faith.
Come on.
So they went to King Darius
Excuse me, Your Majesty.
and advised him to make a law that for the next 30 days, any person who prays to anyone except King Darius will be thrown into the lion's den.
I like it.
King Darius signed this law, and once a Babylonian king signed a law, it could not be overruled. When Daniel learned of this law, he went home and knelt down, as he always did, to pray in his room with the windows open towards Jerusalem. He prayed 3 times a day, just as he always had done, giving thanks to God and asking for his help. The officials went to Daniel's house and found him praying.
Gotcha.
They went to the king and reminded him of the law.
I remember.
Well,
Then they said that Daniel had been found praying to God 3 times a day.
What?
When the king heard this, he was very upset,
Get over here.
and he spent the whole day trying to think of a way to save Daniel.
wait, what?
By that evening, the court officials came back to the king and reminded him that no law signed by the Babylonian king could be overruled. So at last, the king gave orders for Daniel to be thrown into the lion's den. The king said to him, "May your God, who you serve faithfully, rescue you." Then the lion's den was sealed shut with Daniel inside. The king spent the night fasting and couldn't sleep. Then very early in the morning, the king hurried to the lion's den. He called out,
Hey, Daniel.
"Was your God able to rescue you from the lions?" And Daniel answered, "Long live the king! My God sent his angel to shut the lions' mouths so that they would not hurt me, for I have been found innocent in his sight." The king was overjoyed and ordered that Daniel be taken out of the lion's den. Then the king ordered the men who had schemed against Daniel to be thrown into the lion's den as punishment. Daniel was safe. There was not a scratch on him, for he trusted in God.
God protected Daniel from the lions by sending angels to keep him out of trouble and shutting the lion's mouth. In the same way, God can protect you and I from trouble. When we're thinking of trouble, the things that come against us are things like sickness, people being mean to you and bullying you, maybe when parents fight or argue or other friends around you are arguing, maybe if your family's just having a hard time getting enough money. There are all kinds of trouble that God can come and protect us from. He can protect you from loneliness and protect you when your heart's broken. I want you to see right here, I have an egg. You can get an egg out of your refrigerator or anything. Now watch what happens when I take this egg, and this jar is going to represent God's covering and God's protection. The egg represents your life. You can name this egg whatever you want to. So God's protection covers you, and when it covers you, this hammer represents all the trouble that tries to come against you. You see, the trouble can't get to you when you have God's protection and you ask God for God's protection and you have Him living in your heart. He's always going to protect you. But if you don't have God in your life and you're not open to Him, you don't ask Him to help you in times of trouble, when those times of trouble come along, let's see what happens. It could end up breaking you and breaking your heart and making you afraid. So today, I want you to decide to ask God to always be with you, to always protect you. And He will send His presence and His Spirit to protect you from all trouble, so that there's no reason to be afraid of anything, because you don't have to fight your battles alone. Let's pray. God, I thank you so much for every child who's watching today. I pray that you will just be with them today. Send your Spirit, send your power, send your presence into their homes. I pray that you'll put a hedge of protection around them today. Protect them from anything that may come against them. If there's anyone who's sick, God, we know that you can heal them. If there's anyone who has a broken heart, I pray that you'll just put those pieces back together. And I pray that you'll allow every child, every adult who's watching today to be able to walk in your power and your protection throughout this week. In your name I pray. Amen.